Who at North right now on their list, can you see becoming an A-grader?
Never having draft capital for players is a huge problem.
If there's one thing that this football club needs to stop doing is drafting midfielders.
I'm actually happy to see North Melbourne tank for the next couple of years.
To get a player that no one wanted, it's just like, why are you doing that?
Which was Stocker. Was Stocker,
Yeah, like, what was that?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to FanCast AFL. We are talking about our footy topics. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Check us out on all our social media platforms. Get in touch with us. There's some great TikTok videos going up as well, which we really thank our producer for all the efforts that he's been putting in for that. So check out previous episodes. Leave us a comment. Send us any topics that you want us to discuss, and we will try to get them onto our run sheet. As you know, or should know, I'm Swizz, also from Supercoach Insider. I'm joined here by Daz from Talking Hawks. We've got Big J from the Centre Bounce podcast, and a new member joining us, passionate Blues supporter, travels everywhere around the world to watch footy. We have Todd.
How you going?
All right, we're going to kick it off, and we're going to kick off the man in blue and white tonight. North Melbourne, mate. I know you've got a lot on your chest about that. We've covered West Coast, we've covered the Bulldogs. It is the Roos who have had a few years struggling. We can chase it back to the days that they probably let Boomer Harvey go, or even further back to the Wayne Carey days. But so I'll let you start us off with this chat, mate.
I guess the topic at the moment is a bit of, should North get priority picks? I mean, every channel, news outlet, everybody's kind of talking about it. Heck, even like the newspapers are talking about it. From my opinion, I'm going to say yes, but I almost want to hear what you guys have to say, and then I'm going to say it at the end, because I think my points and the feelings that I have kind of are a bit more broader than how you guys feel. So, Daz, how do you feel about it?
Well, let's start with what the priority pick would be, because last year you guys got a pick, but you had to trade it. I think that was part of the Darcy Tucker and Griffin Lowe.
So we had 2 picks last year. We got a future second and a future third, which Freo have now. I'm not sure if they on-polled them for Luke Jackson, whatever, but we were forced to trade them, so we couldn't actually take players in the draft.
Yeah, so if it's not the case this year, if you get band 1 compensation for Ben Mackay, so that's pick 2 and 3, is this priority pick then pick 4? But what does that priority? Yeah, no, that can't fly.
Well, I mean, the
not AFL, as the Hawthorn man that is looking at his draft pick going from 3 to 5, just wondering what's this disaster. But
I mean, the AFL can choose whatever they want, right? They could say, like what they did with Gold Coast, middle of the first round, which would be like around the pick 11 mark. They could do end of the first round. They could do whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the problem that I've got with North, and this isn't really a priority pick thing, but it's not the picking that's the problem. It's development. You can give them all the picks you want. You had 9 first-round picks on the weekend against my mob. We had 6. And it's just, I mean, my problems with North go beyond priority picks, so we'll probably go with it. In terms of do you guys deserve a priority pick, I don't know if deserve is the right word, because I don't think the picking part is actually your problem. Extending the soft cap maybe for every bottom 4 club for an extended period of time might be a way to go, as someone that has not thought about this for longer than I've just said it for. But I've got a big problem if North do get band 1 compensation for Ben Mackay to walk in and get pick 2, 3 and 4. They'll probably use that as a package to get Harley Reid anyway. And if there's one thing that this football club needs to stop doing is drafting midfielders. But that's another topic for another day. So if it's not pick... You guys can't have 3 of the first 4 draft picks, because, as history tells us, is that they're not going to come along as the players that they should be anyway. The AFL needs to prioritise doing what they can to get North's guys that are 24, 23, 22 as better players, because the similarities between your mob and my mob on the weekend, so you think about it, we've both got a full back the fans aren't exactly happy with. Shout out to Sam Frost if he's listening. I love you, Frosty, but... You get the point. We both don't have a centre-half forward. And ironically, it's a draft miracle we both have full forwards. Larkey and Lewis were both taken in the 70s of the same draft. They shouldn't be this good as out. The rest of it, and the other thing that we both got in common, is we both played way too many midfielders on the weekend, out of position.
Yeah.
But the difference is that the Hawks don't have veterans. You guys still do, but we've got a nucleus of guys that have played together, consistent enough footy, and have got a system in place that's going to take them forward, whereas... North are extremely stagnant at the moment, and your young boys aren't coming on, and that can't be the recruiter's fault. Sheasel and Wardlaw, huge ticks. I understand 2 and 3, they've done really well there. But, we haven't seen the best of Will Phillips yet, and you've still got guys in your best 22 that aren't the players that are going to take you to another final. priority. If they do get a priority pick, it can't be just that, because this mob's a rabble, and they shouldn't be, because they were up against a team that profiled extremely similar to them on the weekend and lost by 8 goals, albeit should have been more.
I'll give my thoughts in a second, but I'll put over to Todd.
Was that a yes or no?
Because
Give them a priority pick, but it can't be a top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
you guys know very much about top round picks, first round picks, priority picks. I think a Carlton supporter could answer this best. Has this actually helped Carlton, like having so many picks, or do you think this has like put you guys in the situation that you're kind of bouncing middle because you've got too many high-paid players up the top, and do you think this is actually going to help North Melbourne?
The problem with Carlton is not so much the high-level picks, it's that for so long our drafting has been abhorrent. Like, it's just horrific. Like, Cruiser was a good pick, in hindsight a bad pick, but like, you don't know that. What he's done for the club, he tries, which is what you see Silvano do now. He tries, but he wasn't a top pick. The midfielders we had, Murphy and Gibbs, would they have been as good if you don't get Judd in to teach them? But it's all about just the draft. Like, obviously, Sheasel's good. I don't really follow much North Melbourne football, no offence. It's just...
There's not much to watch
Exactly.
at the moment.
So I think it would help, but you need... If you're just going to keep picking the same player, and that's what Carlton did wrong, was you just picked the same type of player. And there was the one... I think where Carlton traded up, like, live in the draft to give away a first-round pick the next year to get a player that no one wanted. It's just like, why are you doing that?
Which was Stocker, yeah.
Yeah, like, what was that? Like, it's just... And then some of the players we won't play, like Paddy Dow, I know he gets a lot of hate, but he tries. I mean, his fitness isn't there. But the fans on the weekend loved him. Like, he puts in, he turns up, his boots are horrific. I don't know if he has a deal or anything. But you need players at your club who will do the hard work, and just getting a number 2 or a number 3 pick or even a number 4 pick if you get 3 in the top 4 doesn't guarantee that, because you look at Jason Horne-Francis, who, I mean, he was good, but was he really good enough to be the number 1 pick? Because he hasn't really performed that PortAdelaide either.
In his draft year, he was so far the best kid in the country.
Yeah, but like, he just hasn't come on. So you can be the number 1 pick, but it doesn't guarantee form. I mean, I know Dacos was...
Pick 4.
And he was going to go at number 1.
It's all those ice baths, you know. You just didn't take them, and then like his form's just dropped off. So
yeah, but you got to like and again, I don't want to make this about Hawthorn. Luke Hodge is the only number 1 draft pick in the 21st century to win a flag at the club that drafted him.
Yeah, that's wild. Like, that's
and Tom Boyd's the only other one that's done it, and of course he was traded from the Giants to the Bulldogs.
Exactly. So it doesn't actually mean success. You've got to have a lot of other factors in it. And for my thoughts were like North, as you're saying, like drafting the same people, and a team that's already got LDU, Simpkin. You've got Sheasel, who's probably going to move through the midfield. Wardlaw, Phillips, Powell. There's guys there who are high picks that might not be getting opportunities just because there's going to be so many of them. Where you talk to some of the fans, some of them that I've talked to, the North Melbourne ones, are actually happy to see North Melbourne tank for the next couple of years if it means getting even more high talent in, just because they don't want to be sort of finishing 8th, 9th, 10th. And then, sort of in that no man's land where like kind of St Kilda finds themselves at the middle. So I see a world where they might even go, here's Mackay compensation and here's another pick up there, but you need to trade 2 of those picks to West Coast. So like West Coast end up with like 3 and 4, North Melbourne get 1 and 2, so the Harley Reid. And they might even sit there and say to the clubs, okay, we're going to do this and help make sure you're helped out. Don't mess up our baby. Don't be bidding on the Gold Coast Suns academy players for us. The one that hurts is then Hawthorn.
But that's draft tampering.
But it is. But the AFL does. The AFL does whatever they want.
Yeah.
And we're going to probably get onto some draft tampering about like this stuff for free. But if the AFL want to do it, they'll do it because probably all the other clubs outside of that bottom 4, and I'm including Gold Coast in that sort of bottom 4. They're all got the capabilities of making finals. There's a clear gap between those. So unless the AFL then turned around and did something for Hawthorn and maybe gave them a start of second round or
they'd love
whatever.
That after the investigations that we've gone through, isn't it?
And that's the problem because they were talking about taking away the giving you one.
Here's the second round.
Exactly. But how could... it makes it really difficult then because how can you, as you're saying, it's not rewarding, but in a way it is. Yeah. North Melbourne, they want to look after maybe West Coast, and especially the Suns, because they don't want all those bids coming really close together and the Suns might not be able to take one of their players or something. So there's a fair balance with what they do there. And now we've got a new person running the AFL. we actually don't know what his thoughts and the new
He's
body
a bit
in
of
there.
a wild card.
And
is that what you're
it
saying?
is a bit of a wild card. So I'll pass it over to Big J because obviously he's got a lot to say about this, so we can finish off the North Melbourne topic.
Yeah. The things that are really hurting North Melbourne at the moment is lack of senior experience. That's actually good versus, like, you know, I'm going to say Jack Zeeble on the weekend. He went for a mark and almost knocked out our own captain. So you can kind of see the experience level there. But also...
Sorry, can I chime in with a question if you're okay with it?
Go for it.
So take Luke Davies-Uniacke out of the equation because he's got the potential. I think his ceiling's a Brownlow. At
100%.
some
Yep.
point in his career, he will be a Brownlow contender.
Yep.
Take him out of the equation. Who at North right now on their list, can you see becoming an A-grader?
Oh, take out Larky as well because I think Larky.
Well, he's
plays
already there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
He's already an A-grader.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, so we
Okay,
can
that's
take
fine.
out
Yeah,
Larky as
yeah.
well.
So
So-
Larky and LDU. Yeah.
So Sheasel, I can see it.
Yep.
He could be there by round 3 next
Yep.
year,
Yep.
to be
Yep.
fair. Wardlaw,
If his hammies
yeah,
stay
if he's
well.
fully fit. We
Yeah,
don't want to
fully
wish
fit.
injuries on
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah, and then
Cricket.
that's the
Who's
thing.
next? Yeah.
And then even going to the next level, like I think Bailey. You're talking about players that can try really hard. I think Bailey Scott tries really hard, and we're seeing the rewards on the field from him. But outside of that, there's the gap between the 3 or 4 potential A graders and a couple A graders. The B grade and maybe Scott, just because of the effort he puts in, and Simpkin, there is a massive gap then to the rest.
Yeah. So the two biggest problems I see with North is the lack of senior experience. So guys in that kind of 28 plus age range who are good, who can stay along, who can help develop the players. But also we're really struggling with a lot of guys kind of that 25 to, let's say, 27, 28 range.
Yeah.
If you look at our drafts from back in 2010 to 2015, we've only had 3 players. That's like out of what? 30-odd picks, probably.
Yeah.
That's
5 picks a draft, 6 drafts, that's 30.
Yeah, like 3 players who are still in the list, and 2 of them are probably going to get delisted at the end of this year. North Melbourne, since 2018 or so, till now, when we've been delisting players trying to restart the rebuild, we've never had any players with draft capital. The only 2 players, effectively, who we got rid of was Ben Brown and then Mason Wood, who's now on an AFL list. No one else has been worth anything in the AFL.
And you didn't exactly get great returns for them either. I think
No.
Ben Brown was a pick in the 20s, wasn't he?
And Trent Dumont's, on a Port list but doesn't play.
Is he-
And
is he still on their list?
Majak Daw, got drafted by Melbourne and then, didn't play at all anyway.
Yeah.
So never having draft capital for players is a huge problem.
The only one you had there was possibly Goldstein at the time.
Yes.
And
Yeah. And
Could
we
have got a
decided
first
to keep
rounder
him.
from Geelong, but
Yeah.
knowing how good they are, that would have been
Yeah.
pick 16
that's
anyway.
right.
Yeah. So one of the issues with North Melbourne now is not actually having a lot of players with draft capital. Having draft picks and having that kind of creates a little bit of a problem and a benefit of what GWS has, where, yes, players are leaving, but they're actually recycling and they're kind of starting that draft capital series. That's what getting extra picks does for a club, and that's what we desperately need.
But
We need to make up for the 5-10 years ago where things just didn't work out. Giving us extra draft picks now helps.
Yeah.
It creates a competition, and there will be a salary cap squeeze in a few years where we can actually trade players off. So your Richmond, for example, your Collingwoods,
But
teams
will
that
they,
are,
though?
that are
Who
like-
are you paying?
No, but LDU's on decent money. You reckon if we have 6, 7, 8 guys on decent money who are all first round picks, they're all going to say, hey, my contract's up. I want my 700K. I want my 700K. We're going to have a point where we won't be able to pay everyone, that these players are going to leave. It's going to be beneficial for the higher ranking clubs because we've been on the bottom of the ladder for so long that it's actually almost going to be feeding, your Richmonds, feeding all these other clubs.
Yeah, but if they're not developed well enough, they're not going to...
And that's where the soft cap, and I think that's probably one way to do it because I've always been critical on why does the premiership team, and even when Richmond's going through it, gets the same amount of first round picks as the bottom team, and that's just because you can be drafted 8. The gap sort of, they always say the top 2-3 players, but kind of the gap between the 4th and 5th player to the players in the 14th, 15th, 16th. And we've seen it so often where your Rances and your Fifes and these guys go at pick 18, go at pick 20 because they get in and sometimes they're not even the development. They actually might be just late bloomers. And it's got the pick 1. They look at and no disrespect to Cam Rayner, but there's some of the pick 1s like him haven't set the world on fire, where they're going to actually change a club. Nick Dacos, because of the father-son rules, goes pick 4, but he's the sort of player that comes in and changes the club. Others top draft picks don't.
The academy stuff helped. Can you imagine North now with Dacos and Jamari Ugle-Hagan in their side? That'd be pretty handy.
100%.
But the other problem with North, though, and I want to ask you as a North fan.
But this comes back down to what I was trying to get to about development, was that, yes, there is a multiple of big issues that need to be fixed, because it's not just no draft capital, it also comes from that's arising from bad development at the club. We do need an overhaul of coaches. Maybe it involves a little bit of soft cap ex-benefit.
And that's what I was about to say.
But having draft picks and having extra players does start to set off that little bit of snowball that gets a club that has effectively is going to have bottom 2 4 years in a row without help from the AFL is going to be bottom 2 for 5, 6, 7 years in a row, and it's putting the game in disrepute, not by helping the club fix its problems. Yeah. If we're a club where if you play us two times in a year, we're almost guaranteeing you guys top 8 because it's 2 free wins for multiple years in a row. It's hurting the AFL, it's hurting all the clubs, and it's making the game unfair. And the AFL has to change that.
They have
the club can change it, and we're slowly getting there. But there needs to be some monumental change. Let us have Sanders. Give us a couple of first-round picks. Maybe we have to change it. Maybe we have to trade them. Give us something to try and push us a little bit over that edge because we have no backline, right? The draft picks that we got last year, our guy's got an ACL. He's done his ACL. We don't have him next year. So almost the assistance we got last year doesn't matter. And now we're losing our best key defender. Yep. Like, bringing in an 18-year-old kid to cover his position's not going to work. Let us list some VFL players.
I think, as you were saying before, the soft cap.
But we need something.
The soft cap, I have no issue with it actually starting at, say, 18th, and maybe even if you grouped it and said, these 6 clubs, whatever, have a larger soft cap where it might be $500,000 more, $1 million more, and then it reduces and maybe the premiers get $1 million less compared to the rest of the competition. And I know some people are like, well, that doesn't reward the best clubs. But we're not the EPL here. We have an equalisation system. That's just what the AFL's built around. So maybe that is definitely a way because you can get in more development coaches that could help North Melbourne.
But more money in a club doesn't equate to better players because we see from the West Coast.
No, but better development.
But the better development, I'm saying,
player.
Yeah, but the soft cap is a different story. So because then you can actually bring in either better coaches or more coaches that can develop your group compared to the rest of the competition.
Exactly. And don't forget about on-field as well. So you look at, I know comparing North to Collingwood's a silly thing to do. I can, except for North and West Coast, even my mob, I can tell you, if they were to win on the weekend, I can tell you how they're going to do it. Collingwood are going to overwhelm you with pace from the back half. They're going to score from the back half. Hawthorn are going to handball their way down the ground and try to make Mitch Lewis turn into prime Wayne Carey, which has happened a couple of times. But if North were to win on the weekend, I have no idea who you're playing this weekend.
St Kilda.
St Kilda. Right. So if North beat St Kilda, but if the old crystal ball is here and we go, North are going to win, how are they going to do it? I don't know. What's their one wood at the moment? The self-inducement of North's pain. I have sympathy for the fans. Right? I want to hug the fans, but part of me wants to go suffer to the people that have made the decisions, that's made this pretty proud footy club throughout the 90s, that made Friday night footy come alive, that had probably the best player that we've ever seen, has the game's record holder in Boomer. But we last won a final in 2015. You made the 2015 prelim. 8 years later, we've both gone through a rebuild. Yep. One of them's 4 years in and still hasn't worked. One of them's 2 years in and is starting to work.
But the thing it comes back to, right, we don't have the strength of the mature age players in the list where a Dacos can come in, fresh being 18, and can dominate. We don't have that. A Hawthorn, you guys can get a new player like Weddle, like Seamus Mitchell, all these guys to come in. You've got the structure, you've got the strength of the mature age players who help guide those players to do that. We don't have that, and that's the biggest issue. Yeah. And giving us some extra picks, giving us some assistance, if our state leagues or things like that, that will help to push us in the little direction that we desperately need.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been another great show. Like and subscribe us. If you've got any questions, feel free to hit us up. Swoosh26 on Twitter if you want me, and we can definitely try to add some topics to future shows. Thank you, Daz, Big J, Todd, the backroom staff.
Thank you.
We are FanCast AFL. Thank you.
Thank you.